What's up? It's J Wade 2. Here with your first revelation for this week. I'm on my way to the gym, but I want to stop and set up what we'll be talking about for the next couple of weeks. I've been talking a lot, and I've written a book. I've recorded a CD talking about hearing God, talking about what we need to do to hear God, and the things that we hear from Him, and believing what we hear from Him because He has a purpose for your life. But I want to shift a little bit. Um, I want to shift a little bit because hearing from God is just the first step. Um, and hearing from God, um, although it's a great thing, hearing from God is not the only thing. And what's great about it? Hold on, let me fix this. What's great about it is um, when we take time to hear from God, we take time to hear from God, and we do the things necessary for us to hear from God. Um, one of the perks of that, one of the perks of hearing from God, one of the perks of talking to God and having a relationship with God, and going into your closet, closing the door, blocking out all of the noise, and hearing directly what God has to say. One of the perks of that is God hears you too. That's one of the perks of it. It's not just a one-way conversation all the time, because when we have that communication line with God, God also hears us. Yes, we hear from God, especially when we quiet ourselves and do all the things that we've been talking about doing in order to hear from God. But not only do we hear from God, but God hears you. And that's something that's important. And I wanted to bring this point out because um hearing from God is great. Hearing from your parents is great. Hearing from your loved one is great. Hearing from your friends and your coworkers and your cousins, and that's all great, right? But doesn't it feel especially good to know that they hear from you too? Don't you hate one-sided conversations? I know I do. I hate to just sit there and be talked to and never have an opportunity to say anything. I hate to be the one that's always being dumped upon. Everybody is telling me everything. I don't like that. Now I'll do it because I'm here to hear and I'm here to help. But I don't like those one-sided things. When I get all of your problems, I get all of your you, you know how things can get. It's a great thing to know that somebody else hears you too. Not only do you hear from them, but they hear you. And brothers and sisters, that's what I want to talk about for the next coming weeks. God hears you. And we're going to look through the Bible and look at some instances as to where, God spoke, but God also heard from his children. He hears you. And today I want to leave you with that. I want to assure you of that. I want you to have that assurance that not only will God speak to you, but God hears you. God hears you when you cry. God hears you when you moan. God hears you when you groan. God hears you when you speak to him, when you call his name. God hears you. You may feel that you're in a situation as to where no one cares about you. No one wants to hear about what's going on with you. You feel like you have no one to talk to. You feel like all hope is lost. Well, brothers and sisters, let me tell you, if you talk to God and you have this line of communication with him, he will hear you. I often say he hears, he sees, he knows, and he will do something about whatever situation you're in. So today, rest assured that not only can you hear from God, not only does God speak, but God hears. God hears you. Don't be afraid or ashamed to call on God, especially when you need him the most. Don't be ashamed to go in your closet and call on the Lord. And there's this song. You can call him. You can call him loud. You don't have to do all of that. You don't have to scream and holler. You don't have to fuss and fight. You don't have to fall all down and foam at the mouth. Just talk to him. He'll hear you. He listens. And that's what I love about God. Not only does he speak to us, but he listens to us. And when he listens to us and hears what we need, he does something about our need. Sometimes in Providence, I'm coming next Sunday, and we're going to talk about this. Sometimes God wants you to ask him. Isn't that something? He knows all. He's omniscient. He knows everything. But sometimes he wants you to ask him. Sometimes he wants you to speak to him and ask him what you need. He knows what you need, but he likes to hear it. He likes to hear you speak well of him as well. He loves to hear his children speak well of him. So speak to God because he hears you. Don't just go to him when you have a problem, That's easy. But go to him when you want to thank him, when you want to bless him, when you're just satisfied with where you are, when you're just satisfied with what he's done. Still speak to him because he will hear you. But this message is for those that feel like they're all alone, feel they have no recourse. You feel like everything is weighing on you and you just have nowhere to go, nowhere to turn, no one to talk to. Stop for a second and talk to God. Because not only will he speak to you, God hears you. Isn't that amazing? That God, in his infinite wisdom, infinite power, infinite presence, that he will stop and hear you, your voice. God hears you. Speak to him, talk to him, because he hears you. I don't know about you, but that makes me excited. That makes me excited. That's why I chose to go in this direction. I didn't choose it. God sent me in this direction this morning, 3 a.m. for prayer. He said, yeah, you hear from me and you've talked to my people about them hearing from me. But I also hear them. And I know that there are a lot of you that are hurting. There are a lot of you that are in despair and distress, and some of you are depressed. I know that's real. I know that's real because I've been there. Depression is real. Despair is real. Feeling like you have no hope, that's real. Feeling like everything is just against you, that's real. And God knows that's real. And if you call on him, he will hear you. And God is not one that just take all your business in his ear and then just tell somebody else about it, or get all of your business and then just leave you alone because they've heard all of it, because he's heard all of it. No, that's not what God does. When God hears you, he does something about it. So brothers and sisters, if you're feeling depressed, if you're feeling lonely, if you feel like there's no hope, you feel like you're just at the end of your rope, you want to throw in the towel, you've heard from God, you know what he wants you to do, but it just doesn't seem like it's happening the way that it should be. If you're frustrated, if you feel that there's nothing left for me, pause, stop, and talk to God, because God hears you when you talk to him. He hears your cries. He hears your moans. He hears your groans. He hears the way you bless him. He hears you. Out of all of the billions of people on earth, especially those that talk to him, isn't it amazing to know that me, one person, can talk to him? I can talk to him. You can talk to him, and he will hear you. Brothers and sisters, he hears you. And we're going to look at some biblical references to back up what I'm saying, but I just want to give you encouragement today. Talk to God today. Lay all of your problems, all of your issues, lay them at the altar and talk to him about them. Don't take it upon yourself to do anything. Don't take it upon yourself to fix what you've already given to him. Talk to him, because he hears you. God bless you. I love you. We'll continue next week.